Sarah Chen wiped the sweat from her forehead as she tightened the last bolt on the cooling system. Another day, another repair on Junction 9, the space station she'd called home for the past 3 years. The station wasn't pretty, all rusty pipes and worn-down corridors, but it paid the bills, and more importantly, it kept her far from Earth's politics. The repair console in front of her beeped suddenly, displaying a message that made her pause. It wasn't the usual station alert or work order. Instead, the screen showed a distress signal, written in broken English. Help please. Stuck in back of ship. Human design system. IGIV anything. Be slavey for life. Just help. Sarah blinked twice, reading the message again. In her time on Junction 9, she'd seen plenty of scams and tricks, but this was new. Pirates usually went for the aggressive approach, not whatever this was. She took a sip from her water bottle and checked the signal's origin. The message was coming from a small cargo ship about 20 minutes from the station. Its design was definitely alien. All smooth curves and shiny surfaces, nothing like the blocky human ships she usually worked on. Chen, what's taking so long with that cooling system? Station Manager Brooks's voice crackled through her communicator, making her jump. Just finished, sir, Sarah replied, her eyes still on the distress signal. But I'm picking up something weird. Got a distress call from. Ignore it, Brooks cut in. Probably pirates trying to lure in another sucker. Remember what happened to Rodriguez last month? Sarah did remember. Rodriguez had responded to a similar call and barely made it back alive. But something about this message felt different. Pirates usually pretended to be human traders in trouble, not whatever this was. The console beeped again with another message. Please. See in source SHOVO, human nearby. I am stuck in maintenance shaft. Very embarrassing. Will pay much money. Or be slave. Whatever you want. Just help. Sarah couldn't help but laugh. If this was a pirate trap, it was the strangest one she'd ever seen. She pulled up the ship's scan data on her tablet. The vessel's power systems were running at minimal levels, and there was indeed something strange about the readings from its maintenance area. Some kind of crystalline signature that didn't match the ship's design. Hey Brooks, she called over the communicator. I'm taking my break now. Got some personal maintenance to do on my ship. Whatever, just be back in an hour. And Chen, don't do anything stupid. Sarah grinned as she gathered her tools. Would I ever? She made her way to her personal vessel, an old maintenance ship she'd modified over the years. The Patchwork, as she called it, wasn't pretty, but it was reliable. More importantly, it had every tool she might need for a rescue mission, or a quick escape if things went wrong. As she prepared for launch, another message appeared. O and KESTRs, ship moving. You coming? Please be coming. Stuck here, many HOURs. Very unkillable tabial. Promise, no trick. Just stupid alien who thought could UND or stand human engineering. Very wrong. Very stickik. Sarah chuckled as she started her launch sequence. Either this was going to be the most elaborate trap she'd ever fallen for, or it was going to be one hell of a story to tell at the station's bar. Either way, her boring day had just gotten a lot more interesting. Patchwork to Junction 9 Control, she radioed, requesting departure clearance for routine maintenance check. As she waited for clearance, Sarah double-checked her emergency beacon and weapon systems. After all, being helpful didn't mean being stupid. Whatever, or whoever, was waiting for her on that ship, she'd be ready for them. Sarah's maintenance ship, the Patchwork, approached the alien vessel slowly. Up close, the ship looked even stranger. Its surface sparkled like polished diamonds under the starlight. No obvious weapons that she could see, but with alien tech, you never knew. Hello, human coming to help, she broadcast on an open channel. Please don't shoot the rusty ship. I'm here because of your distress signal. The response came quickly. No shooting. Please come. Stuck very bad. In trancy and right side. Automatic de your. Ship reach co genize you as help. True to the message, a door smoothly opened in the ship's side as Sarah worked fast, her hands steady despite the blaring alarms. The old human maintenance system had trapped two of Zixtlic's crystal limbs in its gears. Getting them out without breaking them was like playing the world's most dangerous game of operation. How close are those pirates? Sarah asked as she carefully loosened a stuck gear. 3 ships, 7 minutes away. The Zixtlic's crystal body flickered with nervous light. Very advanced weapons. Very bad situation. You keep saying very bad about everything. Sarah wiped sweat from her forehead. What's in your memory crystals that they want so badly? The aliens' colors shifted to a deep blue. Found weakness in my people's defense systems. Big weakness. Could hurt many. Was taking data to homeworld to fix. Pirates found out. Want to sell to enemies. Of course they do. Sarah grabbed a smaller tool. Hold still. This might feel weird. She slid the tool between Zixtlic's crystal limbs and the gears, then gave it a careful twist. With a grinding sound, one limb came free. The alien made a sound like wind chimes in a storm. Did that hurt? Sarah asked, already working on the second limb. No hurt. Feels tickly. Is that right word? A new alarm joined the others, this one higher pitched and more urgent. Pirates now 4 minutes away, Zixtlic announced. You should leave. Save yourself. Already helped much. Sarah rolled her eyes. Shut up and let me work. The second limb was trickier, wrapped around 3 different gears. So what happens if I get you free? We run to my ship while they shoot at us. Ship has escape pod. Very fast. Built for crystal beings like me. But Zixtlic's colors dimmed. Too small for human. You take your ship. I take pod. Better chance separate. The sound of Sarah's laugh surprised them both. Yeah, that's not happening. I don't start rescue missions just to abandon people halfway through. She looked up at the crystal alien. Besides, you still owe me that favor. With a final twist and pull, the second limb came free. Zixtlic stumbled backward, crystal limbs waving in all directions. Free. You did it. Amazing human. The alien's body lit up like a disco ball. Now we. A massive boom shook the entire ship. Sarah grabbed a wall to stay upright. What happened to 4 minutes? She shouted. Pirates have very good engines. Very fast. Very. If you say very bad one more time, I'm pushing you back in those gears. Sarah checked her tablet. Junction 9 controls picking up 3 ships closing fast. Military-grade weapons. We need to move. They ran through the crystal corridors, Sarah following Zixtlic's glowing form. The alien moved surprisingly fast for something that looked like a chandelier having a seizure. Wait. Sarah grabbed one of Zixtlic's limbs as they reached a junction. My ship's that way. The docking port. Another explosion rocked the ship. Emergency barriers started closing. No time. Zixtlic pulled her down a different corridor. Pirates disable docking port first. Standard tactic. Need different plan. What different plan? Sarah demanded as they ran. You said humans good at working with imperfect systems, yes. Zixtlic's crystals pulsed with what looked like excitement. Time to prove. We take escape pod. The pod that's too small for humans. Yes. Will be very uncomfortable. Maybe dangerous, but better than pirates. They reached a small door that looked barely big enough for Sarah's shoulders. Quick choice needed. Trust alien you just met, or try luck with pirates. Sarah looked at the tiny pod, then at her tablet showing 3 heavily armed ships approaching. You know what? Sure, why not? This day's already weird enough. The pod door opened with a hiss as another explosion shook the ship. Sarah took a deep breath and dove in after Zixitlik, wondering if she'd finally lost her mind completely. The escape pod was definitely not built for humans. Sarah found herself crammed against Zixitlik's crystalline body, her knees practically touching her chin. The alien's glowing limbs wrapped around her like a protective cage, which would have been creepy if they weren't being shot at. Controls not made for human hands, Zixitlik said as the pod detached from the ship. We'll have to fly myself. Great, Sarah muttered, trying to reach her tablet. Just try not to get us killed while. Voa. The pod shot forward with incredible speed, pushing Sarah back against Zixitlik. It felt like being inside a circus cannon, except the cannon was made of crystal and being controlled by a panicked alien. 3 pirate ships following. Zixitlik's body flashed with urgent colors. Very advanced tracking systems. Cannot lose them with speed alone. Sarah managed to pull up her tablet despite the tight space. Those tracking systems, she asked, they're looking for crystal tech signatures, right? Yes. Most advanced tracking in Galaxy can follow crystal energy across light years. Why? Sarah grinned. Because they're not looking for human junk. She pulled up the control interface for her abandoned ship, the Patchwork, still docked to Zixitlik's vessel. Your fancy pod might be faster, but my old girl's got a few tricks. Working from memory, Sarah activated the Patchwork systems remotely. The ship was a mess of repairs and modifications, exactly what they needed right now. What are you doing? Zixitlik asked as the pod swerved to avoid a blast from the pursuing ships. Remember how you got stuck studying human engineering? Sarah's fingers flew across her tablet. Well, time for an advanced lesson. My ship's reactor. It's actually part crystal tech that I borrowed from a wreck. Never registered it officially. The alien's colors shifted to what seemed like surprise. You mixed crystal tech with human systems. That is extremely dangerous. Could explode. Exactly. Sarah hit the final command. Behind them, the Patchwork's reactor began to overload, spewing crystal energy signatures in all directions. Can't track us if there are 100 false signals, can they? The effect was immediate. The pirate ship's precise formation broke apart as their tracking systems went haywire. Crystal energy readings appeared all around them, creating a cloud of confusion. Brilliant. Zixitlik's entire body lit up with excitement, using unstable reaction to create phantom signals. But the alien's light dimmed slightly. Your ship will be destroyed. Better the ship than us. Sarah watched on her tablet as the pirates scattered, trying to chase down multiple signals. Think you can get us to Junction 9 while they're distracted? The pod swerved again, taking them in a wide arc away from the chaos. Station has good defenses, yes. Will help. Sarah thought about Station Manager Brooks and his strict rules about not causing trouble. Let's just say we might need a back door. Good thing I know all the maintenance hatches. A massive explosion lit up space behind them, the Patchwork's reactor finally giving out. The blast sent waves of crystal energy in all directions, further confusing the pirates' tracking systems. Escape successful. Zixitlik announced proudly. Human engineering may be primitive, but very effective. Thanks, I think. Sarah shifted uncomfortably in the cramped pod. Now, about these primitive maintenance hatches we're going to use. Think you can fit your fancy crystal body through them without getting stuck again? After seeing human ingenuity, Zixitlik's body pulsed with what seemed like laughter. We'll follow your lead, but still think human engineering makes no sense. That's the point, Sarah said with a smile. Can't predict what makes no sense. Now let's hope Brooks is too busy yelling at someone else to notice us sneaking in through the garbage disposal system. The pod zoomed toward Junction 9, leaving the confused pirates behind. Their troubles weren't over. They still had to sneak onto the station and figure out what to do next. But for now, human primitive technology had saved the day. The garbage disposal system of Junction 9 wasn't anyone's idea of a good time, But it was better than facing pirates. Sarah led the way through the narrow maintenance tunnel, with Zexiplik's glowing form providing unwanted illumination behind her. "Can you dim your lights?" Sarah whispered. "We're trying to be sneaky here." "Sorry." Zexiplik's brightness reduced to a faint glow. Never had to be sneaky before. Crystal beings usually proud to shine bright. "Well, today you're learning all sorts of new things." Sarah reached a junction in the tunnels and checked her tablet. "Okay, we need to go 3 levels down. There's someone who might help us." "More humans?" Zexiplik's crystals pulsed with curiosity. "Station authority." Sarah snorted. "Definitely not. Brooks would throw us both in the brig and call the space police. No, we're going to see old Joe." They crawled through more tunnels, carefully avoiding the actual garbage chutes. Sarah led them down a series of maintenance ladders until they reached a section of the station that looked abandoned. Old storage containers lined the walls, and the air smelled like engine oil. "Welcome to the basement," Sarah said, approaching what looked like a broken vending machine. She knocked on it in a specific pattern. 3 quick taps, 2 slow ones. The vending machine slid aside, revealing a hidden door. Behind it stood an elderly man with wild gray hair and oil-stained overalls. "Sarah Chen," old Joe grinned, showing off his metal teeth. "Heard you blew up your ship. Brooks is having a fit up there." Then he noticed Zexiplik. Well, that explains the explosion." "Joe, this is Zexiplik. They need help, and we got pirates on our tail." Sarah stepped into the hidden room, which was filled with spare parts and modified equipment. "Got room for a couple of fugitives." "Pirates, eh?" Joe's metal teeth glinted as he smiled. "Must be Tuesday. Come on in, crystal friend. Never had one of your kind down here before." Zexiplik ducked through the door, their crystals reflecting off the cluttered walls. "This place is not in station records." "That's the point," Joe said, closing the door. "Welcome to the underground network, where station authorities' rules don't apply, and the real engineering happens." The room opened into a larger space, revealing what looked like a secret workshop. Mechanics and engineers from various parts of the station were working on different projects. Some were combining alien tech with human equipment, while others were fixing things that the station had officially declared unrepairable. Incredible. Zexiplik moved around the room, their crystals flickering with excitement. Humans taking advanced technology, making it different. Not better, not worse, just different. "We call it creative problem solving," Joe said, leading them to a workbench. "Sometimes the best solution isn't the fanciest one." Speaking of problems, he turned to Sarah. "Those pirates won't give up easily. They're still circling the station, pretending to be traitors." Sarah sat down heavily on a stool. "Great. We got pirates outside, station authority looking for us inside, and an alien carrying sensitive data that could start a war." "Just another day in the basement," Joe grinned. He pulled out what looked like a modified scanner. "But you came to the right place. Down here, we specialize in impossible problems." "How can you help?" Zexiplik asked. Joe's grin got wider. "Well, my crystalline friend, let me show you why the station's official engineers hate us so much. Sarah, remember that crazy idea you had last month about quantum masking? The one you said would never work." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Yeah, that one." Joe pointed to a device in the corner. "Turns out you were only mostly wrong. And mostly wrong might be exactly what we need right now." The quantum masking device looked like a toaster that had married a disco ball. Sarah and Zexiplik sat near it while old Joe worked, connecting wires and muttering to himself. "Still don't understand," Zexiplik said, their crystals dimmed in confusion. "How can broken human technology help protect my people's defense systems?" Sarah picked up a spare part from the workbench. "See this? It's a piece from an alien ship's navigation system, but we modified it to work as a coffee maker." "That makes no sense." Zexiplik's colors shifted to a puzzled blue. "Exactly. Sarah grinned. That's why it works. Your people's defense systems are perfect, right? Everything follows exact rules and patterns. That's why they're vulnerable, because anyone who studies them long enough can predict what they'll do. Old Joe looked up from his work. Humans, on the other hand. He smiled, showing his metal teeth. Well, we're about as predictable as a drunk cat in a zero-gravity chamber. Neat example, Zixlik said. Sarah pointed around the workshop. Look there. Ming's using parts from a Zordlaxian quantum computer to grow better tomatoes. And over there, Raj turned a broken alien weapon into a musical instrument. She shrugged. We take things and use them in ways nobody ever imagined. But why? Zixlik's crystals pulsed with curiosity. Why not use things as designed? Because we can't afford new things, old Joe said, connecting another wire to the device. So we learn to fix, adapt, and reimagine. It's not about being primitive. It's about being creative. Zixlik was quiet for a moment, their crystals slowly changing colors as they thought. Beginning to understand. Like how you fixed ship's maintenance system. Not proper way, but worked anyway. Now you're getting it. Sarah smiled. And that's why your defense systems need a little human chaos. If they worked a bit more like us, unpredictable, adaptable, weird, they'd be harder to hack. Speaking of weird, old Joe stepped back from the quantum masking device. This beauty is ready for testing. It's part crystal tech, part human junk, and part things I found in the garbage. No one will know what it does because even I'm not sure. How does it work? Sarah asked, eyeing the strange machine. Well, Joe scratched his head. The alien parts want to do quantum calculations. The human parts want to make toast. And the garbage parts probably want to be garbage. But when you force them all to work together, he flipped a switch. The device hummed, sparked, and started glowing with a pattern that hurt to look at. Fascinating. Zixlik moved closer, their crystals resonating with the machine's energy. It's creating quantum noise, random patterns, like human thinking. Can you use it? Sarah asked. To protect your people's systems. Yes. Zixlik's body lit up with excitement. Not just use it. Need to copy it. Add human chaos to our perfect systems. Make them unpredictable, like you. Old Joe laughed. Hear that, Sarah? Your crazy idea about quantum masking might just save an entire civilization. Not bad for a maintenance worker who spends too much time in the garbage chutes. Suddenly, alarms started blaring throughout the station. A voice came over the emergency system. Wode Arning. Unauthorized ships attempting to dock. All CCURITWPRSONEL 2 stations. The pirates. Sarah stood up. They're done waiting outside. Good thing we're almost ready, old Joe said, already gathering tools. Time to show them what happens when you mess with the engineering underground. Zixlik's crystals pulsed with determination. Ready to help. No more hiding. Time for pirates to learn why humans are so dangerous. They never do what you expect. The engineering underground erupted into organized chaos. Old Joe barked orders while engineers and mechanics grabbed tools and rushed to their positions. Sarah watched in amazement as hidden panels throughout the workshop opened, revealing emergency equipment she'd never known existed. Everyone ready? Joe asked, his metal teeth glinting. Remember, we're just humble maintenance workers who know nothing about anything. Sarah turned to Zixlik. Time to put on the best performance of your life. Think you can act scared and helpless. The crystal alien's lights dimmed to a soft glow. Like when stuck in maintenance shaft. Exactly like that. Sarah grinned. But this time, it's on purpose. Station security's heavy boots could be heard in the corridors above. The pirates had docked, claiming their ships needed emergency repairs. Now they were searching the station, level by level. They're getting closer, Joe said, checking his monitors. Places, everyone. Sarah and Zixlik moved to their position near the quantum masking device, which had been disguised as a broken food processor. Other engineers pretended to work on ordinary repairs, while the more advanced technology was hidden behind panels and false walls. The door to the underground slid open. Station Security Chief Williams entered first, followed by 3 tough-looking traders who were obviously pirates. Sarah recognized their leader, a scared woman with cybernetic eyes. "What's this place?" Williams demanded, looking around suspiciously. "Just the maintenance level, Chief." Joe shuffled forward, playing the role of a harmless old man perfectly. "Where we fix things too broken for the upper levels. Coffee maker." He held up a device that was definitely not originally a coffee maker. The pirate leader's cybernetic eyes scanned the room, then locked onto Zexitlik. Well, what do we have here?" "Oh," Joe acted surprised. "That showed up earlier. Poor thing's ship broke down. We're trying to help, but," he shrugged, "crystal tech's a bit advanced for us simple folk." Sarah had to admire how the old engineer managed to look completely clueless. The pirates moved closer, their hands near their weapons. "That's our property," the pirate leader said. "We've been looking for it." Zextlik trembled convincingly, their crystals flickering with apparent fear. "Was studying humans, got stuck. Kind engineers helping. The pirate laughed. "Look at this place. These idiots can barely keep their own equipment running. Speaking of which," she pulled out a scanner. "Let's see what other interesting things they're hiding." This was the moment they'd prepared for. The scanner swept across the room, passing over dozens of modified devices and the quantum masking machine. Its readings showed exactly what they wanted it to show. Nothing but junk and failed repair attempts. The pirate frowned, checking her scanner again. Even her cybernetic eyes looked confused. "This can't be right. The energy readings we followed. Oh, that might be my fault." Sarah raised her hand, playing her part. "I tried to fix the crystal being ship using human parts. It, kind of exploded. That's probably what you detected. Sorry about that." The pirates exchanged uncertain looks. Their scanners were showing nothing valuable, just the random energy signatures of badly repaired equipment. Even Zextlik's memory crystals were masked by the quantum device's chaotic field. "You idiots actually defeated our tracking systems by being bad at your jobs." The pirate leader looked disgusted. "We're very good at being bad at our jobs," Joe said proudly, then quickly added, "I mean, we try our best, but you know how it is with primitive human technology." The pirates made one more sweep of the room, but the quantum masking device did its job perfectly, hiding their advanced tech behind a wall of human mechanical chaos. Finally, the pirate leader spat on the floor. "Waste of time. There's nothing valuable here. Just junk and incompetent mechanics." As they turned to leave, Sarah caught Zexitlik's faint glow of triumph. The engineering underground had just pulled off its greatest deception by telling the absolute truth about being completely unpredictable. 1 week after the pirate incident, Junction 9's main docking bay was filled with crystal ships. Their elegant designs made the station's human-built structures look like children's toys in comparison. But this time, no one was making comparisons. Sarah stood next to Zexitlik, watching as crystal engineers talked excitedly with members of the engineering underground. Old Joe was at the center, proudly showing off the quantum masking device to a group of glowing aliens. "Still hard to believe," Sarah said. "A week ago, they thought we were primitive. Now they're asking us to help redesign their defense systems." Zextlik's crystals sparkled with amusement. "Not redesign. Unredesign. Make perfect systems imperfect. Add human chaos." Station Manager Brooks walked past, looking like he'd swallowed something sour. The official story was that Junction 9's maintenance crew had accidentally discovered a breakthrough in crystal technology. He couldn't prove otherwise, and the crystal beings were too important to offend. "Your people are taking this better than I expected." Sarah watched as a crystal engineer tried to understand why Ming had connected a quantum computer to his tomato plants. My people value efficiency, Zixtlik explained. And what more efficient than using chaos to fight order? Pirates expect perfect systems, predictable responses. Now they face human unpredictability backed by crystal technology. Old Joe waved them over. He cleaned up for the occasion, though his metal teeth still gleamed when he smiled. Sarah, they want to know about your other ideas, the ones I kept calling crazy. Really? Sarah raised an eyebrow. Even the one about using modified food processors as emergency transporters. Especially that one. Joe grinned. Turns out, crystal beings have a whole branch of physics that might make it work. Who knew? A tall crystal being approached them, its form more elaborate than Zixtlik's. We have discussed terms, it announced in perfect English. We wish to establish permanent exchange program. Crystal engineers to learn human creativity. Human engineers to help implement chaos systems. And Zixtlik pressed, their lights pulsing hopefully. And yes, the crystal leader's lights danced with amusement. Junction 9 will be officially recognized as a joint research facility. With full funding, the engineering underground erupted in cheers. Even Brooks managed a small smile, probably thinking about the budget increase. What about the pirates? Sarah asked. Gone, Zixtlik said proudly. Word spread about strange human technology that defeats scanning systems. Too risky to attack when they cannot predict what they will find. Some say humans have secret weapons disguised as coffee makers. Sarah laughed. Well, they're not entirely wrong. Speaking of which, she turned to Zixtlik. Remember when we first met? You offered to be my slave for life. The crystal being's lights dimmed with embarrassment. Was poor choice of words. How about partners instead? Sarah held out her hand. I could use someone who understands crystal tech for my next crazy idea. And you could probably use someone who knows how to get unstuck from human machinery. Zixtlik's entire form lit up with joy. One crystal limb gently touched Sarah's hand. Partners. Yes. Much better than slave. Though, their lights twinkled mischievously. Still think human engineering makes no sense. Good, Sarah grinned. Because the moment it starts making sense, we're doing it wrong. Around them, humans and crystal beings continued to exchange ideas, each learning from the other's strengths. The crystal beings were learning to embrace chaos, while the humans were learning to refine their creative instincts. And somewhere in the station's maintenance shafts, a quantum masking device that looked like a broken toaster hummed quietly, proving that sometimes the best solutions come from the most unexpected places. After all, in a universe full of perfect systems and predictable patterns, maybe a little human chaos was exactly what everyone needed.